Welcome back to Life and Hair. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people go through that's not often shared. People don't get a chance to really talk about the death of a pet and how it makes you feel. Of course, I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I had the most beautiful dog that ever lived. She was born at home and she was born into my hands, just in the room next door. And her name was Baby Joy. And she really brought joy to me and to every member of this family. We had that dog for 13 years. And a couple of videos ago, I mentioned that we'd celebrated her 13th birthday. We bought a dog cake from Etsy, and she had a little friend here. And family and friends gathered because I knew in myself that it was likely to be her last birthday. She had a tumour in her mammary, and I could see that it had grown incredibly large at quite a fast rate. About a week after her birthday party, her abdomen started to expand. I suspect it was filling with fluid, and her tumour had grown more, and she was only able to lie on one side, and she was panting a lot. And I could see that really within a few days she would start to be in serious pain. And to anybody who's had such a loyal friend, the last thing you want to see is your beloved, loyal companion suffering pain in any way. So at that time, the sun was out and we would walk. But we quickly made the decision that the best thing to do was to actually have her put down at the vet. And we made that appointment for the 15th of June, so it was at the beginning of the week. To tell you, it was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. And I've lost family members. I've lost a mother who passed away, grandmother, cousin. But it wasn't the same as having that pure, loving creature passing. There's something so difficult to comprehend, so difficult to grasp a hold of about what makes such a creature's passing so incredibly painful. It seems unthinkable that a creature that is so loving, born really, made to give love without reservation, without judgment, to all of us, but to all of our friends and their children. Like a lot of family dogs, she seemed to know what your particular need was, what your emotional need was, whoever you were. And she sought to fill it with devotion and love and acceptance in the most amazing and humbling way that humans have not evolved to yet. I have never met a human who was able to be so selfless, so giving, so loving, so accepting, non-judgmental. We aspire to be like those beautiful creatures that we have the honour of sharing our lives with. Of course, for those of you who are not dog people, who have never had a dog, who don't really know what a dog is, I might seem to sound a little bit over the top and a little bit over emotional. To say I'm over emotional is true. It has hit me and my husband very hard. I've been working from home 3 days a week, and she is always by my side, either within sight of me or leaning up against my leg or flopped down on my foot, so I'm always able to gain comfort from her body heat and her beautiful fur. And I've always had the privilege to look down into those devoted brown eyes of hers. And it's been wonderful for 13 years. So being at home when she wasn't at home was really very difficult. But it was a decision that we had to come to in order to spare her life's ugliness and life's difficulty and disappointment. It was a very difficult decision to come to because we didn't want to betray her. We didn't want those feelings of guilt that we've done something bad to her. But I'd rather live with that guilt and knowing that I've spared her the pain, and then have to deal with it myself. And she left the house with my husband. He very kindly suggested that he should go alone. I wasn't able to go with him, and he bore it with a lot of dignity. And after it had happened, he came back, and it was incredibly traumatic. But it was the day after, really, that it had hit me, because believe me when I tell you that she went up to bed. When we went up to bed, I fell asleep to the sound of her breathing every night for 13 years. I woke up to her welcoming face every morning for 13 years. And then she would come down with me, and I would put my right hand down as I walked down the stairs, and I could feel the side of her head as we walked down the stairs together. And any dog owner will tell you of so many routines and traditions and wonderful things wonderful days that they shared with their animals. And not forgetting that having a dog is the perfect excuse to go out for a walk. I have not been out for a walk since the 15th of June. In fact, it was the 14th that I took her out last. So, if there is anybody out there who is going through this very difficult experience, my heart is with you, really. It's amazing what a dog can teach you. The humility, the teamwork, the cooperation that they demonstrate to us every moment of every day. A dog, when they're your companion and they see you as part of their pack, their pack leader, really show themselves to be completely in, 100% in. And I have to say, I've never been 100% in about anything. She was so much better than me. She didn't know any intellectual knowledge. She wasn't able to speak. But she seemed to have all the wisdom in the world, which far outreached mine. And not having her is a very sad experience to live through. There's something that I'd like to share with you. When Stephen came back, it occurred to me that she may not have known what was coming when she was at the vet, and her body died. But because there is such a strong link of love and companionship and comfort that's between her and us, and her and this house, I can't help but feel that her spirit returned to the house. And she always knew, and she always felt when I was sad She knew when I was crying that I was upset. And somehow or other, she always would come up to me and sometimes even just put her paw on my hand as I was crying. And I wonder whether her spirit, when it returned to this house, if indeed that is what happened, because believe me, I'm not sure about anything, I wonder whether she felt that I needed comfort. You see, with a creature who has the nature of a dog, that is always 100% in, always selfless and giving, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch of my imagination to wonder whether she stayed here in order to give me that comfort and reassurance that I needed. Now, of course, this notion that I have could very well be just my wishful thinking, because the sorrow of being separated from her is too much for me to accept. And you know, the human mind is quite an interesting thing in that it is prepared to do gymnastics in order to get out of a tight spot. And I can accept that. But it's interesting that I feel her comfort sometimes. So I wanted to just quickly jump on here, not for a long video, just to update you with this experience that happened this week. To offer comfort to anybody who's going through this, or recently been through it, or went through it many years ago but still feels the sadness. For the next 2 days after it happened, I didn't put on a drop of makeup or any hair or anything. I actually walked around the house as though I'd been punched in the stomach. I wasn't actually able to straighten up. I had such a pain in my heart and in my gut. It was a physical feeling of having been hollowed out somehow. It was like I'd had a dagger in the heart and I was just bleeding out all over the place. That's really how it felt. And I know so many other people have felt the same. So now life goes on without baby Joy. But she is remembered every moment of the day. I was just reviewing some of my videos and I saw one of the videos of me and Steve going down to the river, and it was called something like Going Out with My Topper for the First Time, and baby Joy was in that video, and I watched it and it brought me so much comfort. So here's to you, baby Joy. May you have many wide meadows to run through, and I send all my love and goodwill to you on your way. Thank you for the most wonderful years. Thanks very much for catching up with this video. I'm really sorry if it's been if you found it very sad, but I just felt that it was important to share and to mark this event. I'm wearing my Jon Renau topper today, feeling a little bit more like myself. Blessings to you all, and have a wonderful day.